here's all the variety of flowers that we're gonna put in all over the property. A lot of them I've grown myself and I've done well with them, and a lot of them are kind of new to me, so we'll see how it goes. And I'm going to show you the book that I use to learn more about just having flowers. This is the one I really trust, and I've really enjoyed the information that has in here, and it's an easy read. It's not technical, lots of pictures to know how to do it. So this is what I use, and I hope everybody is inspired to put a big garden in themselves and hope to have a beautiful spring.
Well, show me which ones, Logan.
I see firefly daffodil.
Okay.
And then double daffodils.
Yeah, the double daffodil.
I see Darwin tulips.
And what's this other red one?
Darwin tulips.
Oh, red Oxford and yellow Oxford.
Yep.
And then we have Triumph tulip.
Triumph tulip.
Triumph.
And that's a yellow variety as
Yellow
well.
one. Yep.
Yep. So here I only had the double one. I only had about 8 or so. So I just put it in the front there because I had a shorter bed, you know.
Yeah.
This one I did another daffodil row. So we'll have daffodil. No, hold on. It'll be yellow, orange. Then this tulip will be yellow. And it's all this one because I only had about 20 of those, 25.
Yeah.
And then the butterfly daffodil had a bunch of those.
The white with the yellow.
Yep, and that went on this row here. So where the sticks are sticking out. And then this whole row is the red, and it stops with the yellow, and the yellow keeps going over here.
There we go.
Yeah, I did.
See. Okay.
And then
Okay.
over here, I did all the pink ones.
Oh, you have the sand ones over here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I
Nice.
thought, oh, that'll be really pretty.
Yeah.
And it's easily like accessible if I wanted to replant them
Yeah.
down the road. And
Easy to see the rows. Know where the rows start and stop.
yeah, and it's right in front of our like our sauna. You have like this, like it might be one of the favorite spots we hang out at. So when we build this, let's just imagine it. Oh, it's so nice. Little cedar home between these beautiful junipers. It looks so cute. We might want a little sitting deck.
You're gonna keep some of those.
Yeah, those will go up to the cabin. No. You know, there's just not as much sun as I'd like for them. But I think next year when we built this, and we gotta take these weeds down, kind of landscape this a little bit more, and then for sure I'd put some around. I'd want to see the building go up first, because there might be other things I want to put around. that time of year where if you don't get the bulbs just in time, they might not blossom in the spring. So we're working really hard to get all of our bulbs planted on the property. We bought over 385 bulbs, and we wanted to have the majority of the colors brought in the front of our yard or our driveway upon entrance to the property. And we chose some really great colors. We looked at all the options and where we're gonna put them. We outlined a little rock space for where our sign is gonna go to represent Mountain Maple Ranch. And we wanted to have a ton of color right in the front of our driveway. Planting bulbs is more than just a big bloom in the spring for me. It's a representation of a home and a place to be proud of. I grew up at my grandma's Dutch in Lithuania, and when I was a small child, I often envied her beautiful front garden in front of her house. The small Dutch that she had in Lithuania was probably as big as our cabin, but all the grandkids used to stay with her and help her manage the greenhouse, pick the fruits, pick the vegetables, can fruits and vegetables. At the time that I lived in Lithuania, it was a third world country, so everything that you needed for survival had to be done, or you didn't get to have it for the season. My grandma worked extremely hard, and so did my grandpa. They were huge farmers, and they often sold their produce or their flowers or anything that they grew on the farmer's market in Lithuania, and that's how they made their living. I feel so fortunate to have that background with me as I've grown as a person, and to also teach those skills to my children. Mark too grew up around his parents doing a lot of canning and gardening, and having also flowers around their yard that created a beautiful space. When I became much older into my grown years and I bought my first home, that was one of the first things I did before even moving into my furniture. Is I had my garden pad already picked out, I had compost delivered, and we tilled our garden and put it in as soon as we could. And that took about 2 days, and then we moved in with our furniture. That was really important to me, is to get the garden started. And that fall, I decided to buy a bunch of bulbs to put in front of my current house that we live in Utah. And I remember not having as much money just because I wasn't technically a nurse yet, and my buying power wasn't as strong. So we would find any tulips that would go on sale, and in hopes of, okay, well, we'll put them in the ground and hopefully they come right up in the next spring. We got lucky on a lot of tulips that we got on sale and for clearance price, and I would even put them in later, maybe like almost end of October instead of the first part of October, and they'd still come up. So I felt like we got lucky. I don't necessarily believe in luck, but this time I would buy 20 tulips for $5, and 50% of them would be dried out and they'd still somehow come up. So I was pretty happy with that outcome. I got my bulbs from a company online, and when the bulbs arrived, they were plump and fresh appearing, and I didn't want to let them sit for too long. So from the time that I purchased the bulbs to the planting the bulbs, I was able to have only 2 weeks in between. So the bulbs that Mark has thrown, they're healthy, they're very attractive, they look intact, they don't look sick, and we're excited to see how they come up in the spring. Our goal for this part of the frontage of our yard or our driveway is to have lots and lots of color come up in the spring, and it's pretty much for our enjoyment and our neighbors and anybody who drives by. We're really excited about kind of showing off our place a little bit, and again, it does make me feel proud of the homestead that we're building. One of the things that I really wanted to do is get a large variety of flowers to where I also can come in and cut some and have some in a vase every time I come up to the cabin, or also have that ability to do down the road. I hope to have a lot of bulbs all around the property, not just our front area here. We have an area also across the driveway where we're going to put an orchard in, and there I would also like to have a huge amount of bulbs planted. At the beginning of the video, you saw where I lined up a lot of tulips in a row and planted it in front of our future sauna. And those tulips, I'm hoping to see where the bulbs were produced, and for me to dig them up and spread them in other parts of the property. And I'm hoping to do that in a couple of years. I'm hoping to do a lot more on this property that involves plants that give us back not just a beautiful bloom, but also chicken feed. For example, I am really wanting to grow lots of tall sunflowers. I want to have them line a fence line where we have over 50, to where I could shake the seeds right out and have additional seeds for my chickens or my goats, or even our future pigs, because we'll eventually do pigs. I want to have all that available, and I want to not just give back to the land, but I want to give back to our food source too, which will eventually eat our chickens and our pigs, and if we can grow their feed, then absolutely, I want to have an abundance of that. As we're putting in the last of our bulbs, it reminds me of a picture that I saw when I was maybe a teenager of my grandma, and she was in the middle of probably a 2 or 3 acre tulip farm, where she had arms full of tulips, and she had tulips growing all around her, and they were all bright red, just bright red, and she was probably the happiest I've ever seen her. Me and Mark have been together now for 10 years, and we've done a lot of gardening together, and he has just been my ultimate rock and support in pretty much anything I want to plant or do, and me vice versa, of course. Anything that he finds, he just has a ton of input. So I often thank him for always supporting my dreams and often letting me spend more on bulbs than I should probably, but he often just enjoys seeing what we come up with together. Sometimes it's all of my idea, and sometimes it's both of us, and sometimes it's his idea. But we do come up with some really great, incredible landscaping options. Our current home right now also has a lot of bulbs, lots of bulbs. We have just many varieties of daffodils and tulips, and we look forward to spring because I am able to cut from that garden, and I I also share my flowers with my nursing staff and for Nurses Week, and I enjoy bringing that. That's just some of my favorite things that I enjoy doing. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And thanks for watching.